If you're looking for a quality multi-sport watch that's rugged and built for the outdoors, the Fenix 6 might be for you. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Garmin Fenix 6 from a golfer's point of view and talking about whether or not it's worth picking up. So what we're going to look for and what we're going to be covering in this video are what this watch actually does, the golf features it comes with, how the quality was, and also be talking about the cheapest place to pick it up. If you do want to see a demo or anything like that, be sure to check out the full review down below. I will just mention our gear giveaway. If you want to enter in, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment giveaway down below. Do those three things and be automatically entered. So let's start off with my first impressions, but since I wasn't the biggest fan of the previous Fenix 6, I didn't have a whole lot of expectation with this newer model. They did make some changes though, and those changes were a big improvement in my opinion. You can get an upgraded version of the watch, but I just tried the basic version of it. But the first and my favorite change they made to the Fenix was they made it a little bit more compact. My biggest complaint with the 5 was that it was a bit too big and bulky. I'm not really a fan of wearing watches anyway, so that's kind of what made me not like it so much. The 6 is a few millimeters thinner, which also makes it lighter. It might not seem like a huge difference, but I didn't really notice a difference personally. The second change they made was adding more features, so like different sports were added, and there was also other things that they did track. The 6 comes with a pulse ox sensor, which is going to help you acclimate to different altitudes, so that's kind of a cool thing that not everyone's going to use, but it's a cool feature to have. It also has an incident detection feature, which is going to basically contact emergency services if you fall, if you're out for a hike and you fall or whatever. It also has like an energy monitor that's going to tell you when you have the most energy or when you should probably rest. And then the final improvement was the battery life. So both the 5 and 6 have impressive batteries when you compare them to other sports watches on the market, and that is part of the reason for the higher price tag, but the Fenix 6 is quite a bit better than the 5 as well. So let's jump over to the golf features it has. So if you ever use a sports watch from Garmin, the golf features are pretty much the exact same. They aren't going to be as advanced as like a high-end golf specific watch, but they're going to give you pretty much all the essentials, like I would say 95% of what you need on the course. The first thing you have to do is download the courses on your watch, so it's a bit of a hassle having to do that every time, but it's going to save after that and you're going to be good to go. All you really have to do is go to the Garmin Connect app, find your course and click on download. After that, you're going to be able to see basically what hole you're on, what par is the hole, what the green looks like, the shape of it, the distance to the front, middle, and back of the green. And then you can also move the pin around to get an exact distance, so that's pretty cool. You're also going to be able to see what hazards are on each hole. You'll be able to see how far you are from the front of it, and then how far you need to hit it in order to clear the hazard. You're able to see what type of hazard it is, where it is compared to the green, and it's also going to show you how far away dog legs are and where different layup spots are. Another cool feature that it's going to have is called the auto shot, so it's going to automatically track your shots and tell you how far each shot was. All you have to do is hit your ball, walk up to it, and it's going to tell you the distance. It's also going to store that information so you can review it after your round, and you can also keep track of score on the watch and keep track of your handicap and a few other things. But what is cool that this watch has that some of the other ones don't is if you want more advanced tracking, like club speed, ball speed, apex height, that kind of thing, you can get the Garmin TrueSwing and connect it to your watch. It is an additional thing you have to purchase, but it does connect to this watch, which is pretty cool. Now for the non-golf features, so I don't really use many of the other features myself, but the watch does have pretty much everything you'd want to track or do. You can track all the basic features like, steps, calories burned, and the quality of sleep. And you can also track more advanced things like energy levels and altitude acclimation, that kind of thing, which most people aren't going to use, but it's always there if you want. If you're someone who likes to swim, like trail run, cycle, hike, climb, or anything else similar, this watch is going to be able to keep track of all that stuff. Like I said before, I don't really use that, but the numbers don't mean much to me, but they're there if you want. The one thing I do use quite a bit is the built-in GPS. So the main reason to get a watch like this would be for outdoor use, for hiking, running, or something else where you need a GPS. It's going to keep track of where you are, where you've been, and where you're going. It's so much better than those big bulky handheld units, so it is nice having it on your wrist, and it does perform pretty well. When it comes to the design of the Fenix 6, the design It was a big improvement in my opinion. I thought the 5 was a bit too thick and it wasn't the most comfortable watch I've tried. The 6 is a bit thinner and lighter, which makes it a lot more comfortable. The other difference between them was the quality of the screen. So the Fenix 6 was more scratch resistant than a lot of the other watches, and that's why it was good for the outdoors. The Fenix 6 is even better though compared to the 5, and it does come with Gorilla Glass. Now, I have no idea what Gorilla Glass is, but it's supposed to be really durable. It was, I don't want to say it was a lot better than the previous, but it was a little bit better. Nothing to, pay a bunch more money for. But other than that, the design was pretty much the same. Now for the performance. So when it comes to the performance, the main thing I'm looking at is like the battery life and the accuracy of the golf features. You should be here because you're interested in the golf features, and that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on. So let's start with the accuracy of the GPS. If you've ever used one of the other Fenix watches or even the Vivoactive or Forerunner, the golf tools are essentially the same on them. I wouldn't say they're as accurate as the Garmin S60, but they were always within about 5 yards of the course markers. That's good enough for me and it should do the job for you. Now for the battery life. This is one of the big selling points with the Fenix series. So if you're going to be using it in the outdoors, you're probably going to need a good battery that's going to last you multiple days, like if you're overnight hiking or camping or whatever. So the battery is going to last much longer than the Vivoactive or the Forerunner series, and the 6 was noticeably better than the 5. If you're just using it as a smartwatch, like no other features at all, it should last you about 2 weeks. If you're using a GPS features, it should last well over a day. So let's just quickly cover the pros and cons. So pros, you can track pretty much everything on it. It's going to give you all the essential golf features. It's tough and well built, and the battery is way better than the Apple Watch. Cons, it's still a bit too big for me personally. The sleep tracking isn't as good as some of the others. It's okay, but it's really not that great, and the price on it is a little bit high. But if you do need the extra battery life, you're going to have to pay up for it. So the breakdown, performance score, I'll give it an 8. Quality score 9, ease of use 8. My personal score an 8 and a 10, which is pretty solid. Frequently asked questions, what nav maps does the Fenix 6 come with? So it comes loaded with maps from North America and then a base map for the rest of the world. You can also purchase additional maps for certain areas as well, so that's always there if you need it. Does the Fenix 6 have interchangeable bands? Yes, you can pick from a bunch of different straps. And then can you play music through the Fenix 6? Yes, you can connect to Spotify or Amazon Music. So taking into account all that information, is it worth it? I would say overall, if you're someone who spends a lot of time in the outdoors and you need a watch that has long battery life and is built super tough, the Fenix 6 could be perfect for you. I like it a lot more than the Fenix 6 because of the smaller size. It also has a bigger screen, which is a big plus, and the better battery life. If I had to pick though, I would go something with like the Vivoactive 4. It's not as heavy duty, but it's more compact and it's more comfortable in my opinion. It's also cheaper, which is a big selling point, but both are great options. But if you would like to see more images or like a demo or get any of these for the lowest price available, click the link in the description down below. At the time of making this video, that was the cheapest place I could find it, so you can go ahead and check out the current price if you want. And if you do have any questions, simply leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But if you haven't already watched and commented on our latest video, click the video card to the left and get yourself another entry into our golf giveaway.